I just want to start out with this quote from the McKinsey Quarterly recently. The companies performing well on gender diversity measures don't do so by focusing only on women. Instead, they have changed the way employers interact and work with one another, a shift that benefits women and men alike. Finding a way to acknowledge the ancient and mysterious differences that exist between the genders, and also to find a way to focus in on the things that we have in common.
I mean, I think the paradigm that's emerging is that it's about leading in a way that people choose to see us as effective because we demonstrate it.
Right.
So it has to do with cultural dexterity and interracial savvy and the ability to work across differences like gender in a way that not only is our intent, hey, I'm a good person, I expect women to understand that. Instead,
Right.
at the impact level, they can say when asked, well, actually, he's the real thing.
One of the phrases I've started using is fearless reciprocity. This is about fearless in the sense, at least, of less fear rather than more, and reciprocity in terms of a mutuality that's about exchange. While we're focusing on engaging men to advance women in business, you can imagine that I'm ready, and those of us who are presenting today are ready at any time to talk about what's in this for us. There can be challenges to the process of reciprocity, but that's what's going to take us to excellence. The effectiveness gap is the difference between how we as white men see the way we integrate diversity and inclusion into our leadership work and the way that the all others, which is everybody but white guys, see us. The hypothesis for the study was that there would be a difference. This is not earth-shaking. What was sobering was the degree of difference. In many cases, on many of the competencies, there was a 30 to 40 point gap. And you can look at the list of companies right here who are involved and know that, one, they were brave to even participate in the study. Trust me, there were a lot of other companies who were perfectly willing to let these companies go first. I had a gentleman say the other day, we were talking about the effectiveness gap, and he wasn't happy about the scores in his business unit because it was a big difference between the way white guys saw things and the way all others did. And he said, well, you know, he was trying to take it in and say, well, so what's in this for me? And he goes, well, fine, what you're talking about is competitive inclusion. And I thought I knew what he meant, but I was afraid to like paraphrase it. And he kind of blurted out, you know, so I just want to be more inclusive than those guys over there. This felt like such a guy moment. You know, we bonded. You know, we were going to compete to see who could be most inclusive. Honestly, I'm good with that as a starting point. I want to start with people wherever they are. The reality is probably if that's your entry point to this, it's going to be a pretty steep learning curve. You know, and the collaborative advantage is going to have to show up. But along the way, the competitive advantage is going to show up too. And there are companies in this room that already know that to, dare I say, lean into this conversation is going to prove a competitive advantage as those best practices emerge.